What are the most unreliable cars on sale today? Our research shows that reliability is one of the most important considerations that buyers have when choosing a new car. And in this video, we'll tell you the 10 cars you do well to steer clear of if you want a stress-free life. We'll also run you through the 5 brands with the worst overall reliability score. And don't worry, it isn't all doom and gloom, because in a few weeks, we'll be posting another video about the most reliable cars that you can buy. Subscribe and switch on notifications, and we'll let you know as soon as the follow-up goes live. Now, before we reveal the most unreliable cars on sale today, how exactly do we know what we're talking about? Well, our data comes from the annual What Car Reliability Survey in association with Motor Easy. This year, we're including responses from more than 32,000 car owners, and we have a big enough sample size to cover 227 different models and 30 brands. The survey focuses on cars up to 5 years old because that covers the minimum 3-year new car warranty, as well as another 2 years where faults are less likely to be fixed for free. And we're also only including cars that are currently on sale, although they may have had a facelift or other minor updates during that time. Our survey starts by asking owners if their car has let them down during the past 2 years. And to gain a better understanding of what went wrong, owners are then asked for details about the nature of the problem, how much it cost to fix, and how long their car was off the road. Cost and inconvenience are 2 of the biggest headaches when dealing with a faulty car, so we factor these things in to create a unique reliability rating for each car and brand. For more information about the survey, as well as a full rundown of the results split by class, click the link above to head to our website, whatcar.com. And to be part of next year's survey, make sure you tell us about your car's reliability. You'll find more information about this in the description below. So on to the most unreliable cars on sale today, and at number 10, it's the Nissan Ariya. Launched in 2021, the Ariya was Nissan's second pure electric model, arriving around a decade after the original Leaf. However, while the Leaf has always had strong reliability credentials, its bigger SUV-shaped sibling isn't proving so dependable. 39% of owners who responded told us that their car went wrong, with 56% rendered undrivable. The electric motor was at fault in 17% of cases. Issues with the bodywork, brakes and electricals were also reported. Things were put right quickly in most cases though. Half of cars were back on the road in a day or less, and only 28% took more than a week to fix. Nissan also covered the cost of all remedial work. Number 9 on the list, with a reliability rating of 80.7%, is the Hyundai Ioniq 5. In many ways, it's a fantastic electric car, thanks to its long range, super fast charging and roomy interior. However, 42% of owners we heard from said their car let them down. For context, only 30% of owners of the closely related Kia EV6 reported any problems at all. Both models suffered issues with their 12-volt batteries, but a greater percentage of Ioniq 5s were rendered undrivable. Problems put 56% of faulty cars off the road. On top of that, Hyundai covered the cost of only 90% of repairs, while Kia coughed up for all of the work needed on its EV6. Some of Renault's latest models are proving very dependable, but sadly not the Austral. This hybrid Nissan Qashqai rival was blighted by engine and electrical issues, as well as problems with the hybrid battery pack and the electric motor. Overall, 44% of cars suffered some sort of glitch. Although 2/3 of affected Australs could still be driven, 1/3 of them were in the workshop for more than a week, although at least Renault covered the cost of all the necessary repairs. The ID.4 is one of a set of triplets from the Volkswagen Group that includes the Audi Q4 e-tron and Skoda Enyaq, but the VW trails its siblings by more than 10 percentage points when it comes to reliability, not only suffering from more faults, but also taking longer to repair. 36% of ID.4s in our survey had problems, compared with 30% of Enyaqs and just 29% of Q4 e-trons. What's more, 2/3 of faulty ID.4s were off the road for more than a week, while only 52% of Q4s and 28% of Enyaqs took that long to repair. The drive battery and electric motor were the main sources of woes, but more positively, Volkswagen covered the cost of remedial work from all owners we heard from. 6th place in our most unreliable cars list of 2025 goes to the Audi Q7. 47% of owners told us that their cars had suffered glitches, compared with just 29% of people who told us about their Mercedes GLB or Volvo XC90. In fact, the Q7 is the lowest scoring 7-seater in the entire 2025 survey. To compound matters, just 15% of Q7s were fixed free of charge, compared with all faulty GLBs and 90% of troublesome XC90s. 29% of owners with issues received a repair bill in excess of £1,500, whereas not a single XC90 owner had to pay more than £1,000. So, while the Audi Q7 is a great car in many ways, reliability isn't one of them. But the next 5 cars proved even less dependable, and in 5th place on our most unreliable list is the Volvo V90. This is Volvo's biggest estate car, sitting above the V60, and it was a sister car to the S90 Saloon, although that was removed from sale in the UK a couple of years ago. Almost half of owners reported problems, with infotainment defects accounting for 24% of glitches, unspecified non-engine electrics making up another 18%, and the 12-volt battery being responsible for a further 12% of problems. 44% of cars were out of action for over a week, and more than a quarter were rendered undrivable. It's reassuring though that Volvo covered the cost of repairs in 94% of cases, and the few owners who did have to cough up were charged less than £50 per fault. Next up, it's the Mercedes C-Class, which isn't looking as dependable as its predecessor. 43% of cars built from 2021 onwards suffered at least one glitch, compared with just 23% for the 2014 to 2021 generation. Failures occurred across a range of areas, including the engine, fuel system, gearbox, and air conditioning. 39% of faults were serious enough to stop cars from being used, and only 19% of cars were put right in a day or less. 38% were off the road for more than a week. But at least owners weren't asked to get their wallets out. All repairs were taken care of by Mercedes for free. Japanese cars may have a reputation for being dependable, but the CX-60 proves that isn't always the case. Half of owners had glitches with their car. 27% of those reported suspension issues, while the other problem areas included the fuel system, gearbox and steering, as well as the 12-volt and hybrid batteries of plug-in hybrid versions. 43% of faulty cars took more than a week to fix, although Mazda has to take some credit for covering the cost of all of those repairs. The second most unreliable car that you can buy right now is the Volkswagen Tiguan. The latest generation of this popular family SUV only went on sale last year, but shockingly, it has the highest fault rate of any car in this year's survey. 81% of cars we were told about had some sort of problem. The infotainment system accounted for almost a third of issues, and the braking system and non-engine electrics each accounted for a further 19%. Fixes were frequently slow too. 41% of affected cars were off the road for more than a week, and only 28% were in and out of the workshop on the same day. On the plus side, Volkswagen did cover the cost of all repairs. And finally, the most unreliable car on sale today is the Nissan Juke. A combination of slow repairs and some huge repair bills have kept the petrol-powered Juke at the bottom of the chart for a second year running, and by a huge margin because it had a reliability rating of just 55.2%. Some other cars in this year's survey suffered a greater number of faults, but a whopping 64% of Juke owners who reported a problem said that their car was off the road for more than a week, with the Juke's engine and 12-volt battery causing the most headaches. Worse still, 60% of affected owners had to pay Nissan more than £1,500 per fault to have their car fixed, with only 30% of cars fixed for free of charge. Indeed, one owner said, "My car has been completely unreliable. It has failed twice and I now feel it is beyond repair." So those are the most unreliable cars on sale today. But which brands have the worst overall reliability score? Well, as we said earlier, there were 30 manufacturers with a large enough sample size to be included in the overall brand league table. And in 26th place is Land Rover. Clearly, that's not exactly a result to be proud of, but it does suggest that Land Rover is moving in the right direction where reliability is concerned, because it's the brand's best overall result for years. Last year, it finished one place further down the list. Still, Land Rover's sister brand Jaguar fared even worse. The British manufacturer recently stopped building cars ahead of a highly anticipated and somewhat controversial relaunch for the brand. But whatever you think of the company's new direction, let's hope it leads to more reliable cars. Despite a better overall reliability score than last year, Fiat has actually slid 3 places further down the table due to the bigger improvements made by other manufacturers. Although Fiat didn't have any models in the bottom 10 overall, it didn't have a single car in the top 25 either. 29th place goes to Nissan. The fact that Juke was the least reliable car in the entire survey certainly dragged down Nissan's overall score. But even the Japanese brand's best performing model, the previous generation Qashqai, managed only 20th place out of a total of 227 models. And the brand that builds the most unreliable cars of all, according to the results of the 2025 survey, is MG, and for the second year running. It has the lowest average reliability score of just 88.9%, and not a single one of its models made the top 100 overall. So there you have it. Those are the most unreliable cars and brands according to the results of the 2025 What Car Reliability Survey. For a full breakdown of the results, head to whatcar.com and let us know about the reliability of your car by filling out our survey in the link below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for lots more videos like this one.